what happens a lot when you end up working on a lot of movies is you end up jumping into other roles, especially, and what I mean by roles is different positions, especially if you're working on low budget stuff where they're like, we just need some extras, some crew people, go sit in the bar or whatever. That happens quite frequently. Anyway, and on like features and everything. So unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't, but it does sometimes. So we're talking today about how you get all these slashes next to your name. So director slash producer slash actress slash, composer, slash PA slash boom operator, and you just start acquiring all these positions slash script supervisor, which I did, I personally have had all those positions on a set, and and driver. I mean, so it's kind of weird, and I could list myself as all of that. And this is something that goes along with branding and goes along with what I've actually struggled with a while, because there's a lot of positions on set that I do like. But it's important to pick one. And even if you're not, because here's the interesting thing that has happened, especially recently. I have said, okay, directing. And even though I'm doing that, I'm still getting other positions. And I'm going to add that in the marketing realm, even with, because I do read marketing books. I like marketing. I think it's fun. And I think it's interesting in theory to me as well. So not just implementing it, but it's fun to think about it and how it works and the right words to use and, hey, these headlines work, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of creating a website, I was reading a book that was talking about how if you have a lot of different things that you do, you would mention that you do this one thing, the main thing that you do, and people will still hire you for other things. So let's say, and when I was still thinking I wanted to do photography as my main gig, which I don't, I ended up, it's like maybe the website would be, I'm focusing on doing events, and my ideal client is, somebody, a mom who has a daughter who's having a mitzvah, blah, 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 and I want to focus on that. And that ended up being like my main, and you have to focus, and then yet I'd still get an actor who wants headshots. And that's the idea behind it. And in the same way, with the entertainment industry, even though I'm saying I'm a director who wants to focus on comedy and web series and those and sketch and, just do that, I'm still getting documentary, and I'm getting people who are like, hey, will you produce this short for me? And I'm like, sure, yeah, that's great. And it's very interesting to me because I think it's important to distinguish that I was not picking the thing because I wanted to not close off to opportunities of doing other stuff. Oh, well, she's only a director of comedy. We don't want her to do this drama with, this sad topic or whatever. And I didn't want to close that off. But I feel like being very specific in what the main thing is that you do and focus on that, it'll actually kind of filter into other things. Not always, but because then you can get into typing yourself, especially with actors, if you start being if you start saying, I am this comedy thing, it's very often you will get comedy and that's it. Although you have to look at somebody like Steve Carell and be like, that's awesome. He's comedy, but he's got all these dramatic roles that he's done a fabulous job with, and he didn't get typecast. So that's awesome, so even in his career you can see that he has this whole, he can do the Anchorman, but he can also do serious drama as well. And that's true across the board. If you are a cinematographer, maybe they will call you in. I don't know, that's a little bit different though. Never mind. No, I'm kidding. But I am saying that, well, even within the cinematography, maybe you're a cinematographer for music videos, but I've also seen cinematographers for music videos get called in for features because they're shots were so beautiful. Something to keep in mind. So maybe you won't end up being like a gaffer, you know, if you're a cinematographer ever, you know, like that, maybe that's not going to happen if you put yourself out there as a, well, gaffer is really specific, you know, you need a certain knowledge just for safety purposes. For those who don't know, gaffer deals with electricity, so there's a reason why people aren't just going to randomly be a gaffer, but like, it's, you know, something that maybe even within your expertise, you will make the leap to a different type of thing that you're doing so you don't get typecast in your professional activity. And that's all I'm going to say today. Have a good day. Hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did like this video, please press the like button and also blah, 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 subscribe. And also just check out my website, howtoproducemovies.com, if you like to learn more about producing movies. And